It's Alana here. Welcome back to CarrCARE Charity's channel. Today I'll just be drinking some tea and having a little chat with you guys in honor of June 2nd, National Cancer Survivors Day. I'd like to share a story about a close friend of mine who is actually not a survivor but has passed away of cancer. She was about I think 16 or 17 years old when she passed away, and she was one of my first friends in life. And my experience knowing her through her treatments with cancer was very inspirational to me, just as an individual person. And her stories really touched my heart. She was a close friend of mine for very long, and I still think a lot about her. One of my first friends ever, and we had the relationship of being ill together as children and have life-threatening illness. So, Katy, I met at the Ronald McDonald House, which is a housing for individuals that have to go out of state for medical procedures or surgeries or for long-term treatment. They can stay at the stay with their child and the parent, so the family has somewhere to stay while the child is in the hospital or needs to go back and forth to the hospital very frequently. So I met her there. I was living there for many years, 5, 6 years, not all at the same time, but sometimes like several months, 6, 7 months at a time, depending on what treatments I had. My transplant was performed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So, and I'm from Chicago, so we weren't able to have anywhere to stay because our home was in Chicago, so we got Ronald McDonald House in Pittsburgh. And we traveled around a lot of different places finding housing while I needed my treatment. Anyway, well, I met Katy, and Katy was the first teenager that I guess closely knew. I was about 5 years old when we met, and she was probably maybe 14, 15. I can't remember if she was closer to 15 or closer to 18, but some age around that time. And to me, she seemed like a big kid from my 5-year-old perspective. And she listened to really cool music. I'm a 90s baby, early 90s baby millennial. So that was the time of actually, this was a little bit before Avril Lavigne's time, but a lot of punk rock, that style of music was really popular. Green Day, Evanescence, I think that's another name of a band that she listened to. She liked punk rock. She liked the alternative lifestyle. I don't really know much about her life before she had cancer, but when she was facing all the cancer treatments, there were sad moments, definitely, but she held herself with confidence and high regard throughout her entire treatment, even when she became terminal. I remember some of her dreams in life were to go to a dance with a boy and, just enjoy punk rock music, playing with others. A lot of play involved. I remember when we were in the hospital, Katy took me to different floors because we lived or were staying on a unit, but we would be able to meet up with one another and go across the units. If we were well enough and could get off the unit, we would get like a day pass to go do whatever we wanted, either outside the hospital or in the hospital. Usually in the hospital, though. We would go down to the library at UPMC's old children's hospital, and they had this ramp, so we would take our IV poles and skate down the ramp. It was really, really fun. The most fun thing of my life. Even when I became a little bit older, I still kind of try to skate on my IV pole every once in a while just for the fun of it. So we were really close. And then I guess when I was about about 5.5, 6, she passed away. It's probably one of the first funerals that I went to. I really don't remember her funeral. I think I blocked it out because it was very difficult for me to lose my first friend at that age. I really looked up to her, and she means a lot to me even today about what it means to deal with chronic illness, terminal illness, and how important mental health is in getting through those experiences. We at CarrCARE are all about sharing survivor stories. So if you guys have a survivor story, either you're a survivor of cancer, please submit your story at our website. We would love to feature you. If you just want to share your story and don't be featured, you can make a note of that and as you submit. Our website, carr-care.com. You can submit your stories there. We have a program that can lead to funding to have the story become a comic book, a film, or a piece of literature. I'm actually writing the first book of my personal health experience story, and basically just my life journey, or similar to a memoir. But we wanted to be able to reach the most people and provoke thought and reflection in oneself. Currently proofreading and editing it to become a self-help book. We would love to share other stories. We believe that when you share stories and are vulnerable, you create an opportunity for connection. The book is coming out next year, and I'm working on the publishing process right now. It was very therapeutic in the writing process. I didn't write the book myself, but I'm the author. I hired a ghostwriter to write the tale, and she was excellent. It was very therapeutic having the interviews, kind of revisiting my past, my experience, and learning a new form of appreciation or reflecting on what I have grown to appreciate over time. This is Kobe, by the way. Kobe is also a survivor. When he was about 2, he got bit by another dog in his face, so he actually can't see out of one of his eyes. It's a little bit smaller because he needed stitches. He healed pretty good, and you wouldn't really know unless you looked at him closely, but he's definitely a little survivor. I was so sad when he got sick. It was devastating, honestly. It was a situation. I wasn't there. He was with somebody that I paid to be his trainer, and a terrible situation happened. But now he's all better. He had a bunch of, a couple of surgeries to fix everything. His jaw was really hurt and needed some wiring to help his jaw. But he's got that removed now, and he eats well, and he does very well. Yeah, baby. I was younger, and I couldn't go to different procedures or the operating room without my parent. I would bring my teddy dog. Teddy dog was actually donated to me at the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, and I took it everywhere with me. My mom still has it at her house. It's been stolen by my little niece, but she has now taken the comfort that it provides for herself. But it was my blankie, I guess you could say, to keep me comfort during the times that I couldn't be with my parents. And now I have my real dog that keeps me so happy, and keeps me so happy and gives me company. Helps me to go on walks, helps me to go outside with walking him and get around and keep moving my body, even when I'm not feeling well that day. Thank you everybody that's been a part of CarrCARE so far. Tife, Anastasia, Rico, Kimberly, John, um, Valeria, so many people, and Helena, Joy, so many people have been a part of our team. Julian, just thinking of more and more names. They have been all used their individual skill sets to help the charity solve a lot of problems and make the projects that we need to do successful. We've really come together and created a community, and we appreciate all of our audience, you following along on Instagram and TikTok and coming to our events. We've worked really hard to build CarrCARE to be a safe place for everyone and for everyone to have a learning, educational experience for health awareness and acceptance of all. Our goal is to kind of tackle the social determinants of health, like financial insecurities, lack of social supports, and lack of medical resources. So we have developed a number of different initiatives to address all those problems. We donated medical supplies to the clinic that Tife is at in Nigeria, and we will soon be posting video and photo content of that so you guys can see our project in Nigeria. We're an international company. We've done a lot this year. May 7th of 2024 was when we got our EIN to be officially a business, our business ID. And now it is June 3rd of 2025, and we've existed for over a year. Our social media, we're starting to get a small following. We've had a couple of events. People have had great times and given us great feedback. Anybody that's come to our event and watching this video now, please comment down below what you enjoyed, how you would change things, anything you would add. We really look forward to all feedback. We're thinking of even doing a focus group to develop a product that you guys would enjoy. Right now we're selling CarrCARE cookies and our branded t-shirts. Check out our shop on our website, carr-care.com. You can buy a t-shirt. You can order some cookies to be delivered or picked up at our August 2nd event. We actually need to update the website if you want to pick it up at our August 2nd event, but if you want to order them for delivery, they ship all over the USA, and each cookie represents a cause. Each flavor of cookie represents a cause. The butterscotch chocolate chip represents organ donor transplant awareness. Myself, that's my favorite, I guess, flavor of the cookies that we design. Classic chocolate chip, of course. There's a nut flavored for those that can have nuts. That's Anastasia's version of the cookie. And then Kimberly, I think, is the regular chocolate chip or whatever. Actually, no, I think Kimberly is the nut one. Anastasia is the original chocolate chip cookie. I was mentioning each cookie has like a name that represents that cause. The nut cookie for Anastasia will support, proceeds will support Ukrainian war refugees and our training program that provides employment and vocational training for war refugees and disenfranchised groups. The Kimberly's cookie with the nuts is to support women's health, and proceeds go to medical research for women. And our third one, the one for me I mentioned, is for organ donor transplant awareness. So those are all of our flavors to cookies. You can buy a box of 12 or 24. And I hope you guys enjoy. I've made the custom recipe myself. And you can also order the recipe on our website as a digital copy. That's available at the shop too. In relation to my story about Katy, sometimes In the past, I felt survivor's guilt. Like, why did I survive this life-threatening illness? Why me? Why do I get to live longer? Um, Sorry, it's really personal. Don't know how much I want to share, but Katy was she was my closest first friend. I guess when she died, I always held her in my mind and heart, and she became my little angel, helping me to remember how to appreciate life and the worst moments. Cancer is such a difficult thing to go through. My father actually passed away of pancreatic cancer. Just the mental concept of having a terminal disease is affecting. You feel a lot of things. Your mind was full of wonder and concern and fear of the unexpected to come. So it's important to remember that if you know someone with cancer, or you know someone that is a survivor of cancer, that you support them. If you are someone that is a survivor of cancer, there are plenty of mental health and general support groups that can help you with any depression or anxiety that you have related to your disease, or related to remission, or currently going through treatment yourself, dealing with side effects. There's a lot of support available at this time for cancer patients, so that's really great. Check your local medical centers for resources that are available near you. But survivorship isn't selfish. Surviving is, you know what? I'm not sure I really understand it myself yet, but a grace with God, for lack of better words, is survival from a terminal illness or a life-threatening disease. It's not selfish to survive. It feels selfish to survive if the people that you are close to don't get the chances that you do. It makes you feel guilty. It makes you feel a lot of concern, or why me? It makes you search for a lot of answers. But I've stopped kind of searching for answers about my survivorship. There's I'll have another story time for this, but in high school, had a career project that was really an epiphany for me. And I realized that up until that point, I had not really given any serious thought about my future life, because I never thought that I was going to make it to adulthood until my health was improving by the time of high school, and I realized that wasn't as true as I thought it was going to be. I couldn't make an assumption that I wasn't going to make it. At that point, I felt like I really had to make a plan with my life and what I wanted to do with myself. That's when I decided to pursue a career as a physician, which I'm still on my path to. You'll hear about that in the book as well. My whole life journey is there. So if you're interested in anything that I'm sharing about my personal story, then please follow along with us, and you'll get all the updates about when the book is going to be published. And you'll be one of the first of the public to view and read it and enjoy. Hopefully, the whole purpose of writing this is for everyone to learn something, to have a moment of self-reflection for oneself, and to feel connection if you yourself have a relatable experience to me. It doesn't have to be necessarily organ transplantation that you have a connection or relation to. It could be anything, that you're a Black woman facing chronic illness. It could be a war refugee that can relate to the struggles of being in uncontrollable circumstance and having to try your best. You could be a single mother at an early age that doesn't have the supports that she needs, and those circumstances are difficult. And we would like all of you to share your stories as well. We have funding opportunity to enable those that apply to have their stories shared. Um, we have opportunities to do publishing of those stories and create comics and films and so on and so forth, different literature work. Thanks for watching our live, everyone. Let me know what your favorite part was about the Primo and Barca interview. We will be doing Barca and Primo interviews, which represents the CarrCARE Studios platform of CarrCARE Charity. We produce music to promote therapeutic ways to deal with mental health, encouraging those to use creativity outlets for expressions of emotion. We also utilize it as media that can be used as an awareness tool for education. Primo is a rap artist, and his brand is called Small Circle, all about building the right community for yourself to have personal growth. And he's a partner of CarrCARE Charity, so we like to have lots of discussions about music, the arts, business, entrepreneurship. So thanks for you guys watching our test trial of how the streaming would work, and we look forward to seeing you guys each week. We may not have a live every single week, but we hope to have at least 2 or 3 lives each month, to keep you guys just entertained, catching up with updates of what the charity is doing, keep you guys really engaged, and invite you to become involved in what we're doing. We're always open to have volunteers if you guys are interested in some of the initiatives that we do. We work on supporting blood drives in the Chicago area right now, but we're hoping to go national in the next 3 years. We, at all of our blood drive events, we are pairing entertainment and health fair resources along with availability for diagnostic testing for those that do donations. We are going to be partnering with a non-for-profit that enables donors to get their sickle cell status, which is heightened disease in the Black community, and we're really focused on supporting minorities and their health concerns and providing them resources and education that is currently lacking. And we do this with cultural competence. Myself as a Black woman and someone that's experienced chronic illness and life-threatening illness, I try to take my personal perspective and experience and try to relate and empathize with others. Check out our podcast. I did have this posted, but I really wasn't comfortable with, I don't know, the way that I was talking in front of camera. I have made the decision to post the Survivor Sisters story. That was a podcast that we filmed last year, and it was the first time for me being on camera doing a podcast. Everybody said that I did well, but I was a little embarrassed of myself, so I took down that post. But now I'm posting again because, like I mentioned before, I really know the value of being vulnerable with others. It helps opportunities for social connection and for just general health awareness, and not just health awareness, but supporting others through shared experiences and storytelling can be really powerful. All right, guys, I guess it's time for me to come out of the closet. And I don't mean that closet. I mean the secret that I have been very selective in sharing. Uh, my chronic illness or my health journey as an organ transplant recipient is not something that I shared up until last year, really, except for a very small amount of people. I don't talk about it. I kind of ignore discussions about it, even though it's a big part of my life and just my daily life and how I get through the day and my just overall life experience. But I never wanted to talk about it. I wasn't comfortable with sharing that information in the past, especially when I was young. People that knew didn't treat me the same way, and it made me uncomfortable. And when people saw, some of the medical devices that I needed, like nose tube or central line or PICC line or different IVs, and AFOs for my legs, braces, and all these different things. I just didn't want to share that about myself, and I wanted to be treated like everybody else and not dismissed or have any stigma towards me. Even though this is before I even knew anything about stigma, I just knew that people treated me a different way and I felt like lesser than me. There's no particular language that I remember right now, but that I felt lesser when people knew that about me. Like they would give me extra attention, they always like over attention that wasn't necessary. So it wasn't something that I like to share, especially during school or professional settings. I have a tendency to lie about how I know things in professional settings about transplant recipients and just transplant surgery and medicine in general. I would say, oh, I have a family member, so that's why I know so much. But really, it was myself that, and I guess a lot of people do that when something is true about themselves. They say it's a friend or a family member, but maybe I shouldn't feel so bad and hard on myself about that. But in sharing my story, I hope that you all just enjoy. I feel so compelled to share my story at this time of my life, and I never have before. So I really just hope it touches someone. I just think of a little Alana that needed somebody like me to be a voice or just a role model or someone to look to that is like myself. There aren't enough disabled people and people with chronic illness that can be seen as role models. And all of us go through, at one point in our life, some type of illness.
Thank you everyone that's watched this video. I hope you can take something away. If you're interested in learning more about CarrCARE, subscribe to our channel, give us a follow on Instagram, visit our TikTok, visit our Facebook, check our website for all of our upcoming events. We'd love to hear from you, to submit your survivor stories, and feel free to comment down below with any of your thoughts or concerns, any questions that you have about the charity, what we do, what we're all about. We'll be making another video soon that explains a little bit more about the updated projects for 2025 and 2026, but that'll come later. Thank you everyone. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and save for later. Thank you. Bye.